Welcome back, League fans. We're gearing up for Game 3 with 100 Thieves facing off against Clutch Gaming. And while both of these teams' LCS squads are locked in playoffs, their Academy counterparts are already eliminated. I know you like to play this game on the weekends, Mark, so I've got an overreaction for you. Levi is the worst Academy import ever.
Jesus. I mean, we've had one split not even finished of Academy, so that's a bit of a strong wording, to say the least. And I'm not sure I quite agree. I mean, Piglet has also had a tough time here, and at least he's lived in NA for 3 years. Levi, it's his first time, so we're kind of watching what probably should have happened in the preseason start in Week 5, where they're not really ironing out their problems in, these weeks before they finally take to the stage. They're doing all of it live before us. There's obviously a communication barrier, and so since this is an exhibition match, I hope we get to see him just focus on himself a little bit more. There's not a ton on the line, so just go out there, pick some Lee Sin, do some crazy stuff.
Well, Mark, on the other side of this matchup is Clutch Gaming, and if there's potential for something fun, I have to point out we have Moon, famous for Evelyn, Sun, the artist formerly known as ZX, and Piglet, who still has a world's vein skin, I might add. So I have another game for you. Make this comp work. What do Max Trober and Vulcan have to play to complement their teammates' pocket picks?
Tanks.
Tanks.
The tanks are great. They're good in the meta. Maokai, Scion, Cho'Gath, all those would be good in the top lane. Maybe Braum, Alistar, Tom Kench, Tarek. You're going to 1-3-1 a lot with that comp and look for pickoffs with Eve, so something that can follow up.
All right, let's meet the team. Starting on the blue side with Clutch Gaming in the top lane, Max Trober. In the jungle, Moon. In the mid lane, Sun. In the bot lane, Piglet. And support, Vulcan.
And selecting red side for this game is the other kind of red and black team. It's 100 Thieves Academy. In the top lane, Kaizen, jungle, Levi, mid lane, Linsanity, bot lane, Rakara, supported by YN.
Well, we'll see what these two teams have in store. It is tough to be in this spot in a season sometimes, but like you said, only one game left to play in the season. Might as well have some fun.
Yeah, definitely the case. You do want to kind of still have a good showing. And I think some of these guys have had some good showings, especially like Rakara and YN, are two players who stood out and were kind of the backbone for 100 Thieves. They were the reason they got a lot of wins early in the season, and even after Levi showed up, they usually had fantastic score lines in their wins, clearly demonstrating themselves to be the focus point. So if anyone's looking for some bot lane support moving forward into the future, these are probably the two guys you're going to want to look at down here in Academy, along with Zayzl and a couple others.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the draft, though. Kha'Zix and Olaf banned by Clutch Gaming, so two junglers make it 3. As Evelyn, that we talked about, does get picked off here by 100 Thieves Academy. Also, Camille going to join in.
Don't you ban Lee Sin. We're trying to have fun here.
I wonder if Clutch know that.
Okay.
I know something. They're going to ban Xayah, which is a more appropriate meta ban.
Yeah, and I'm happy to see that. Then like a Nocturne or something. Some teams have started playing Nocturne. There's another champion, I believe, that receives some buffs. We've seen Levi play it, so could be a powerful pick. Swain does get through, though, so we might see that taken right away.
Despite it really picking up a lot of steam in the meta, I will say this is fun. Swain there locked in. Could go top, could go mid. We'll see what CG wants to do, but taking a very powerful first pick here.
Yeah, the first time you're going to get to see it in North America. It also shoots a lot of red stuff out of its hands. So there's red teams, red champions. Got to see if we can keep that theme going. So Sejuani does not match that theme.
Not at
all. So I don't think they should take her.
Yeah, it doesn't match the theme or the rhyme scheme, but he's going to lock it in anyway. Sejuani for 100 Thieves. And there's Caitlyn.
Yep, another champion that we're seeing hitting the ban list a fair amount now. It feels like it wins a lot of the matchups and can bully people out. Still has a bit of a weak mid-game when you're sitting on an IE and not much else. You can't do anything. But if your team's already built a lead with that, then they're not on that many items either. So you kind of neutralize that part. And you can continue sieging down turrets.
Zach on the table, though. I've seen a lot of tank junglers today. I mean, Olaf has shown up in every game so far, but he and Skarner are kind of getting a decent amount of attention, even though we saw Kha'Zix last time. Looks like Sedge and Zach still at large here.
It's the kind of thing where there's been more powerful picks in the jungle, but those get banned out, so then the same things you've been seeing are the same power level, so you keep seeing them. And I think that will continue for a large portion of the 8.5 patch. Gnar is a little surprising. He does feel like he's dropped off a fair amount, and with how many tanks are in the top lane, the fact that Swain has already been picked, this kind of telegraphs what your mid lane is going to be and gives up a potential counter pick in there, and that's why you see this Jace come in.
Yeah, that's the counter pick. Quite probably for top there for Kaizen is decent into the Gnar, but is a flex pick as well, as Varus gets banned in phase 2 by 100 Thieves. So continuing to take champions away from Piglet, but will they ban the Vayne?
Yeah, I gotta say the Gnar pick, even, I didn't like it at first, continues to look bad.
You like it even less now?
Even now that the pool's getting pinched for Piglet here. Morgana getting banned away, that's also pinching their own pool a little bit, so Maybe they're trying to set something up. The Morgana can be a bit of annoyance for a Vayne pick because you can't really break the black shield that easily, and it stops any condemn stuns from coming in. Kog'Maw, the other ban, Piglet has been performing on that, so Piglet's pool gets pinched yet again.
Yep, and we'll see what Academy want here. Sorry, 100 Thieves Academy. They're all Academy something.
Oh, yeah.
100 Thieves want for this pick now, and where they'll save as well their flex pick. I would expect support, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, support makes the most sense. They're going to have to double see their bot lane. I guess for some reason, even though you know Swain is going mid, you are continuing to hide it. Maybe they just want to take the Tahm Kench away and not let Clutch Gaming be able to pick that one. You know, that's a pretty understandable line of logic.
It's saving an aggressive player like Piglet, I will say that much, as he instantly flashes between Vayne and Twitch. I think he's got something on the mind.
Yep, I like the Twitch pick a little bit more. There's a fair amount of squishy members on the side of 100 Thieves Academy, so Twitch can maybe sneak up on them and find that kill, and that's what he's going to take.
All right, what's the last pick now for Clutch Gaming? Will it be Bard? Not a super defensive support, but certainly a fun one. Can get a lot of work done. That would make a little more sense.
Yeah, I was going to say, not much follow-up in a Twitch for a Bard. If he ever lands a stun, you usually want something with a little bit burstier of a trading pattern, things like Jhin or whatever it might be. Twitch wants things that can help protect him and let him just go nuts. Lulu is one of the best champions for doing that. But it does feel like they want some extra playmaking available. Lulu doesn't really bring much, so the Thresh pick also makes sense. Twitch can go in, stealth up, shoot some people, lantern back. There's still nice interactions.
Yep, certainly a solid pick there for Clutch as they round out that bot lane. So what's happening in this last solo lane now for 100 Thieves?
Yeah, I was going to guess Ryze. It does.
Guess correctly.
I'm so smart. It is a champion that feels like it can struggle a little bit versus the Swain. I've watched a lot of Skara's stream, so who knows if that dude's playing the matchups right. But it feels like it's pretty good for Swain. A lot of people are playing Swain in the top lane. They feel like he's probably a little bit better up there, but he's still an above average mid laner.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the general pervading theory is that he's kind of mid-range, but he's really abusive and very spammable. So if you can find a similar range or in top lane, abuse a melee matchup, you get a lot of work done in either of those lanes. So Ryze kind of fits the mid-range profile for me, so I can kind of see maybe Swain having not an edge in this matchup, but at least getting a lot of work done.
And it's not super bursty, like 100 to 0 interactions either, so Swain, if he can land some pulls on people, get some hard CC, he starts getting his health back, results in a matchup that ends up being pretty good for him, but he also has a tough time killing the Ryze without any sort of health either, so probably going to be a fair amount of even farming there. And we've got our first look now as Clutch Gaming have a lot of playmaking in their comp.
Yeah, they have a ton of crowd control. Swain's passive that you kind of already alluded to, getting a ton of work done. Hey guys, a lot of work done with extra crowd control. So Clutch Gaming definitely building for a lot of aggression and potential playmaking. We'll see if 100 Thieves can potentially counterbalance some of that. Pick themselves a good top lane matchup, trying to be a little more defensive and push-oriented in the bot lane, as Sun is already off to the races in mid lane.
A little disappointed to see Zach versus Sejuani.
I'm extremely disappointed, actually.
Not because, you know, those champions, but just the players piloting them. Moon loves his aggro picks. Levi loves his aggro picks. And neither of them get to have any fun today, as their solo laners are the ones who get the fun.
Sad days. Well, at least Piglet got Twitch, right?
Piglet did get Twitch. Sun's got Swain, you got the Jace in the top lane. We still have some fun matchups to focus on in this game. In particular, the Swain, just want to watch all those interactions now that we finally get to see him. Like I said, I've been watching a fair amount of him, and I mentioned it at the top of the day. The W radius buff is one of the largest things I think people attribute to his rise. He got a ton of buffs overall, so it's not really fair to just target one thing. But it was an ability that people had a really, really hard time landing previously, and now that he can get it off, it gives him more passive stacks. It allows him to follow up on CC better and ganks and things like that. So just a huge buff as we see Clutch going for a pretty risky invade level 1.
Early invade, but 2v3 is not feeling too hot. Levi could safely finish off that blue buff, but not too much invested there for Clutch's bot lane either. They will make it back to the wave first to try and get these minions down, but Rikara not particularly late, so it should be even, all things considered.
And this is a tough matchup for Piglet, you would think. The Thresh will help offset it a little bit because he has a bit of an advantage into Tahm Kench, but still really need to be careful about Tahm Kench ever getting a Devour off on the Thresh, as we see some aggro level
just
1.
in there, but again moves him back in the first blood over to the Swain and lives somehow through that ignite.
Oh god, I think it was the level up maybe that helped him there, as well as getting the kill. Now Thresh down level 1.
Max range hooker on the Wyan, who's still level 1. No thick skin, so no extra health there as Wyan lucky to be alive after that great hook from Vulcan.
Oh boy, I saw a health pot get popped. I'm not sure if the level up happened or if it was just the kill. Potentially also his passive returning some HP to him as he got the pull. You get to see the shotgun lasers that he kind of uses here. Lands the pull, right click to yank him closer to get the auto off. And yeah, just barely stayed alive from that. Crazy, crazy fight.
Well played from Sun at least. Insanity a little too aggressive after, I imagine level 1 went well given how little health Sun had as that trade started. And now you can see getting aggressive here, pulling things in, pushing the wave through and landing those E's to get the pullback and extra trade damage.
Yeah, it looks like actually, all things considered, not a terrible matchup for Rise. We'll see if it continues to go terrible. The Swain is standing pretty close in as we see a dive coming in here, Jace versus Gnar.
Well, not an aggressive champion, but certainly an aggressive play. Mini Gnar. Gonna be tough to survive this one. The permafrost should land as the flashes come out, and Levi, oh, he dies in the trade. Not the best look.
No, not at all. Looked like that should have been a lot cleaner of a kill. Surprised the chain CC did not come through and that Gnar actually got a hop off. I thought that was gonna be a little better, but trade kill, not too bad, as we'll get to see this dive again. Levi kicks it off, grabs turret aggro, so the Jace can keep going in. The Q stun. Didn't quite stack the passive fast enough. What's nice is Jason hammer form can help stack it, but he wasn't quite in that form yet and had to go to the skies to get close enough as well. So a little slow stacking the passive, buys enough time for Gnar to hop out there, get that 1-for-1 kill.
Yep, nice from Max Trober to kind of even things back up as Kaizen reconsiders buying a second Dorans and a call, instead goes for a long sword.
Yeah, wants to continue to play this one aggressively. As now we see Linsanity in some trouble.
Yep, again, you can kind of combo this all together. Stretching strike, pull back in. Linsanity moves so far forward and Moon just takes him out. Now Levi forced to Arctic Assault away.
Oh, baby.
That synergy.
You can see why that Rise starts getting banned a little bit. Or excuse me, the Swain. Was saying previously that the Rise matchup doesn't seem too bad because the low range of Swain means he has to stand next to minions, then you can kind of get the spell flux bounce onto them and start getting some stacks on there. And that looked like a good level 1 or level 2 fight that he had, but once he lost it, now it feels like things are going from bad to worse pretty quick here.
Yeah, Moon with a great gank. System CC helping out as Wyan eats another hook from Vulcan. Pops the thick skin, surrounded in soup, Guardian procs as well.
Surrounded in soup?
Mm-hmm. That's what that skin does.
I did not
Pretty sure it's soup.
I haven't really looked too closely at it. Hold on.
Well, soup's not going to save him now. Wyan gonna pop the thick skin. Actually, it will. Oh no, Piglet wants in. He's gonna go for it, but I think he went too far. Oh, it's a disaster. Rakara able to take him down. Here comes Levi, maybe looking for the extension. That net did not hit though. And another hook from Vulcan's real nice as Levi forced to get out from under the turret.
Oh boy, YM playing the look at me distraction duty there. Gets Piglet to tunnel on the kill, but then didn't have any vision in the brush. Just needed one more auto attack, but he gets trapped up, so he couldn't actually walk into the brush. And dies as a result.
Ties in heat in onto Max Trovo, but great trade there from the Jace. Switching forms effectively, taking down the significantly less tanky Mini Gnar, but Max Trovo is about to transform.
Yes, so you can, no surprise, like we said, with these solo laners, as they are, a lot of action. 2 winning side lanes for 100 Thieves, with the mid lanes going pretty poorly for them. So Levi and Moon feel like they're kind of just running around the map, trying to play cover duty on any of these dives that might be coming in for the other teams.
Sun looking again, but Insanity able to dodge out from that next never move. So watch this one again.
There's that flash out, gets the gray skin. Walks into that brush, 1 lick, and then dips back in there. Only 1 more attack needed, but just no vision. Wyan able to stay alive. Net misses. Maybe could have found the kill with it because would have got the headshot proc, and that might allow Levi to go in as well. Ends up missing, though. Vulcan lives.
Not too bad. At the end, still get kind of what they came for there in bot lane. Sun did pop his ulti earlier, they noticed. Don't exactly know why, but it looks like he got rooted and that Insanity ran away.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened there. Also going for the Catalyst first. You know, we were talking with a bunch of people about figuring out what the exact build is that you want. and it still seems a little up in the air. I've seen a lot of tier first, and I thought that's what he would be going, but he goes for the Catalyst, had a little bit more gold after winning that 1v1, bought a little bit more expensive of an item, but it does feel like he's running out of mana a little bit faster. Hopefully this blue buff will help out.
Yeah, I think Rune Choices are also kind of in the same boat. Seen a lot of
at least
in solo queue, but he does have Phase Rush.
Interesting. I've seen some unsealed spellbook. I've seen Aftershock.
Ooh, yeah.
I've seen a lot of different things. So Swain, you can tell he's strong. You know he's strong. Just not quite exactly sure what form of him is the strongest.
Yeah, I mean, which, like you said, probably means it's even better. Because if you're not even doing it right, quote unquote, and still winning, it's probably good as a good stun from Max Probo. Trying to outplay, but the Permafrost will be applied this time around. Knocked back in towards the turret. The minions are there to try and save him, but he's still in Mega form, and Levi just picks him off.
Kind of scratching my head about that one. They had Moon, but it felt like they could have peeled off that gank attempt as they saw Levi there. Anyways, good cover. Both junglers showing, so you see the bot lane's kind of going aggressive here.
Part of me thinks Wyan is tanking these on purpose because he's been hit by a lot of them.
It would be a pretty cute idea. Like, I get hooked, Piglet walks forward to auto me, and Caitlyn just hits Piglet in the meantime. It kind of feels like that's how it's going, but not all the time, as Kaizen gonna get jumped on by Moon here.
Yep, it's a solo effort though. Ooh, into the turret actually, trying to really combo it all together. No flash gotten though, Moon. I think was at least fishing for a summoner spell, but will just last hit these minions as best he can as Max Trobo returns to lane.
Cute idea, like you were saying. If you can land the stretching strikes, follow up, maybe you keep him under turret long enough to get a flash out. Not quite the case, and just delays Jace's recall a little bit.
Bad set from Rakara gets out from the clutches, hooked by Vulcan. And again, another pullback in from Sun. Great trade there. The lightning's down the rise.
There's
a lot of ages is the first item.
Yeah.
Checking in.
That's generally what you go if you're going for that. You can go Abyssal Mask. Some people do go in situations, but a lot of people prefer that Rod of Ages. His AP ratios are not too bad at all, especially with like how the healing scales with it as well. It actually does add durability having the HP, or excuse me, the AP. So I do like it, but you can go a lot of different ways with Rise, Swain, which is why we see some of this uncertainty. Hold on.
Yep, Sun again. Getting that pull back in until Insanity. Does have his ulti, but I don't think he wants to entertain a dive just yet. Levi is also hard camping this brush on top of a control ward. Finally lands the ultimate. He's going to get the knockup down. Vulcan actually flashes, but maybe to his death. Piglet lets the ulti go. Rakara trying to get the pick off. Does land it as Levi's red buff. He's able to finish off the kill, but here comes Moon looking for the double, but Lion spits him out at the last second. TP in. And now Moon going to be in trouble. Kaizen looking to try and hit this one down, but the taste wears off there for the Tom Kenshin. Clutch Gaming get out to their turret.
Yeah, felt like Clutch wanted to try and find something there, but it almost got punished. Like you said, if they got that Devour on Moon, maybe they get it. Here, they're going to re-engage.
This is Sun, actually, as Moon is to try and go back in. The root lands in. The stopwatch proc there into stasis. Wyan going to run himself away. Here's Max Trobo now late, but maybe enough to turn the fight back around. Wyan,
as Flash
I think
and Mega.
left for dead. Here comes somebody's not there. Insanity now also roaming down. Max Trobo finds a snipe on a Wyan with the ulti. Piglet able to take down Levi's. Clutch do get some kills back here.
You get those kills, they protect Moon's passive. 5-4 now, 9 kills in 11 minutes. Gold lead, very, very close, but different power points on the map. You see that Sun is very, very powerful. Now Max Trobo has found a couple kills despite his deaths. And you see the gold deficits in terms of CS now. 100 Thieves having about a 20 CS advantage in the top and bot lanes. Really crazy fight. This is the very, very start of it, if you can remember. Vulcan kind of gets engaged on. The fadeaway by Rakara finishes him off. And then he started getting focused down by Piglet in the turret. Vulcan spits him out, in a very interesting angle to make sure that Moon can't hit multiple targets. Hold on, no time for a recap.
Moon back in, does get the let's bounce back, trying to flame in towards the turret. Insanity is forced to flash. Now going to burn the ulti down, but nothing to go over to. Moon just couldn't find the CC, and Sun flashes right in. Max Trobo also down here, so we'll take down Insanity.
Sun maybe a little bit more impatient than they need to be, but made sure that Linsanity could not kite up to the Sejuani to stay alive. Max Trobo cuts off the other path, and with that, they can start pushing in the mid lane, but now Max Trobo up on the top side, no help for this gank.
Back in the mini form again, Levi's here, ready with the ulti, lands the stun, damage coming out. Again, CC chain is good, and Kaizen will get the kill.
And that time, Levi hits the Q as Max Turbo try to jump over his head. Make sure you interrupt that Gnar hop. There's going to be some turret trades going on here as Piglet's going to get engaged.
Yeah, he's trying to pick up Rikara. He does get it, but Wyan now, oh, we can't do anything. Piglet gets the 1v1 kill as top tower falls.
Oh boy, we got a helter-skelter game in the works here. As now the collapse from the mid lane push on the top side push. Looks like 100 Thieves are going to be able to get out of this one.
Yeah, Sun just roams up and only finds the minion wave. So nothing else going.
Piglet getting that kill, not quite enough to get his Blade of the Rune King yet, but as this map starts opening up and turrets start dropping, you gotta love that as a Twitch in a crazy game. It means you're probably gonna find a lot of openings on overextended targets. Vision control has not been that impressive this game, that's why you're seeing so many crazy fights. Also, jungler's not really playing around the enemy team's timings. So here, Linsanity just walks all the way up to the turret, not respecting the fact that there's a potential roam coming in. He does have flash, but just reacts too slowly and tries to flash late here. But he's already cut off and in a bad spot. Almost dies. Gets out for a second before Sun cuts off the escape to Levi, and Max Trobo can cut him off from the other path. And then no one has been protecting Max Trobo, so whenever these big minion waves get pushed in with the Jace, there's no jungler up there to protect him. Moon had gone down to the mid lane to continue pushing in that situation, so Max Drobo keeps dying to all this pressure as Levi continues to find kills in this game.
And last but not least, Piglet. Let's
why not?
go in 1v1s. Rikara here in the bot lane. Dosido, and too late for Rikara to get out here.
Yep, almost flashed to Wyan to be able to save him, just not able to do so, and then Wyan doesn't even bother trying to find the cleanup.
Nope, he's just like, he's camouflaged away. I'm gonna leave. And as we settle back into the game, you mentioned that Blade of the Ruin King on the way for Piglet. It has been answered on the 100 Thieves side. Kaizen has one in the top lane as his first item.
A lot of split push Jaces go for this first. It's a better DPS item if the other person's a tankier member. You can win trades a little bit harder. Also gives you some sustain to hang out in lane. So you can understand that. Gone are the flat pen days that you used to see a lot more of. Sometimes you still see Black Cleaver first.
Gank here on the mid lane though. Sun going to be the target. Bounce back around, going to pop the ulti, but gets knocked back in. Great walk by there, but I think Zach might have the answer. Kaizen does take down Sun.
Whoa.
Does live. After 100 Thieves roams into mid lane to protect him.
What a perfectly timed eat by Wyan. Grabbed Kaizen up right as the, I forget the name of the move, Demonic Flare, Soul Flare, big ass explosion that comes out of Swain.
That's the official name. Big ass explosion as Levi tied up by Moon, but Moon still low. Damage. Moving in from the Jace, he pokes down. Rikara trying to siege up the turret. Max Trobo tired, ran out of rage as Moon is trying to find the long range E, but probably not the best idea right now. Instead, maybe just a trade as Piglet has stuck bot lane to try and get a turret.
You have to be careful now as the roam squad from the pushing mid lane is coming down. They have a lot of globals collapse quickly with Tom Kench and Rise. Doesn't look like they're going to do it, instead focusing on some vision control there.
Rikara will make it back down to the bot lane though. Oh, Piglet does find him, unleashes with the Bilgewater Cutlass active, but Rikara kites back towards his Tom Kench. Wyan gets eaten, so that actually might be a problem. Double play is great, and Piglet on a killing spree takes down one. Wyan, the next target, flashes out of the way. Blast Cone is enough.
Another thing we forgot to touch on is Piglet taking Press the Attack, which got buffed this patch. So a little bit stronger. You saw the proc there kind of chunk out Rikara and then set up a bit of a strange situation where he wanted to run out, was already getting cut off by Clutch Gaming support in jungle. They end up finishing him off. They're going to be able to grab that turret as well. This game continues its breakneck pace, and the gold lead, which was once in 100 Thieves Academy favor for a very brief period of time, will be swinging back. Who knows how long that will last, as Levi is also grabbing the Rift Herald for himself.
Yeah, total differential has to be pretty small as far as these gold leads going back and forth. Is Piglet though, does extend the gold lead a little longer, up 1,000 now for Clutch as he takes down that turret, evening the score back up on that objective front. And Blade of the Ruin King is now finished. He was doing a lot of work with just the Cutlass before.
Oh yeah, and like we said with this map opening up, that's another turret down, it's another long lane. All three lanes have turrets missing in them. So everyone now has to be careful. I think the only person that Piglet doesn't really want to go on is probably the Jace, who might just be able to trade back onto him. But Rise with no armor, very heavily indexed into MR, could be a potential target. We'll have to see who Piglet wants to try and kill.
Right now, Piglet is back to the bot lane. Going past the creep wave, trying to find a pick here.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, I think 100 Thieves kind of know, and Piglet forced out of camouflage. He's going to get spotted, but takes the creep wave instead. Insanity and Levi might try something, but looks like he's not going to press any further forward.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of know Ryze is down there, given the fact that Caitlyn's in the mid lane. You see the Jace in the top lane. Ryze will be bot lane. And there's nowhere else for Levi to really be, except maybe pressuring around topside where they don't have any vision. But felt like Clutch just kind of assumed Levi was doing another one of his cheeky brush ganks.
Yep, and he's still there, actually. So it may still be on the table. He's waiting a long time on his control ward. It's still been there since Rikara had his little 1v1 with Piglet. Now Insanity's trying to say, hey, look at me, I'm all alone. Come fight this 1v2.
Clutch Gaming just not interested in him at all. Insanity gotta feel bad getting rejected.
I know, bait's just not delicious enough. Instead, it'll be Mountain Drake over to Clutch Gaming.
Dolled himself up and everything.
And Levi finally hits that recall button and goes home.
There was a more attractive dragon in the river that they wanted.
You know, that poor Bristle must feel a little unloved as the bigger, cooler looking animal gets priority here by Clutch. But see if Levi can make some work happen as he now is back out onto the map. Piglet also now in mid lane with, again, plenty of open space to try and find a pick off here.
Not quite able to find anything yet. A lot of brush camping for Levi this game. Trying to hope a little Piglet walks into him maybe. Not going to happen though, so just goes for a blue buff in the game. As I was hoping would accelerate with the turrets dropping, seems to be slowing down.
Yeah, it's almost like they knew what to do when, you know, it was just landing in a lot of action, but as the map opens up and kind of how you set things up is also very important. Things are slowing down just a little.
I gotta say, people are playing it relatively intelligently too, playing around kind of the pushing waves and avoiding them in a way that they weren't doing in the shorter phase. Now they're getting aggro.
Great gank here, the root into the ult there from Levi. There should be a kill into not, and is Kaizen. Gets his third of the game. TP try and close the trap here. Insanity trying to fight his way out of there. Sun pops the ulti down, but that's going to be one kill already. Piglet on a rampage. Takes down one. Kaizen still trying to preserve that perfect KDA. Flash up in the back end of the Never Move. Very slick from the Jace.
Sun, I feel bad for this guy. There's been a couple kills that have escaped just off some tricky play by his opponent. The one in the mid lane, where YN times to devour perfectly to avoid the Demon Flare proc to keep Kaizen alive then. This time around, Kaizen flashing the claw as it was coming back towards him, making sure to flash only the CC portion as the claw deals damage on the way out. Very impressive stuff out of him. Feels like some of these guys might have played against a Swain or two in solo queue.
Yeah, it does seem like, again, Champion's a known quantity at this point, as the Rift Herald is summoned by Levi.
Help me with these wolves.
Shelly, not interested in wolves, only in minions and the tier 2 mid lane turret. It looks like that one just kind of timing out for Levi, so probably no real use for this Rift Herald, unfortunately.
Yeah, that felt like a play 100 Thieves wanted to make around the bot lane so he could drop it down there and then use that to continue pushing down some objectives. But the entirety of Clutch Gaming reacted pretty well to this. They all had the priority in the mid lane, try and start coming down here, as well as the Swain TP cutting off the other escape path. And here you see, despite what looked like a great angle, they're only going to find one kill after all this. When Sandy kind of steps forward and takes the bullet for his team, he gets focused down. Kaizen looks like the next obvious target who they can go for, but he flashes this turnaround on the claw, making sure he stays alive.
Smart stuff. But Clutch still, all right, I was going to say still up in goal, but it's really not by a lot. Once again, we've kind of brought the game back down to parity. Items are getting completed though, and looks like this bot outer turret should be a pretty easy take for this Jace, who is still firmly ahead in his 1v1. You can see more than 50 CS clear of Max Trobo, actually 60 plus right now. The Black Thieves are done.
Trying to do their best to use their kind of globals to find pickoffs. Ryze has been shadowing Kaizen. Levi's been sitting in brushes, and YN can even start moving people around the map if needed. They sack that bot lane turret, reading that a shadow was behind the Jace, and that they can actually move up to this top lane and grab their own turrets, even it out 3-3.
Good intuition there from Max Trobo, just keep himself safe. YN a little caught, but the box and the flay both go awry. And so they'll just kind of chill out, walk back out of the jungle. Coverage for Sun though is good, and once again we're back to even as the turret gets taken.
Yeah, that flay box combination by YN, one of those plays, or Vulcan, excuse me, it's one of those plays You do it all the time in every kind of video game where you hit one button, assume it's going to hit, you press another button, you're left in this long combo, swinging at air, not hitting anything. I have been feeling that in Monster Hunter recently.
Do a lot of stuff, press all the buttons,
Yeah.
nothing happened.
That thing moved away from me, and now I'm just swinging at air.
Well, we'll see which team can kind of find a firmer foothold in this game, because still trading, still doing some fighting, a lot less than, say, the first 15 minutes or so, but teams are playing pretty actively. Moon looking for a kidnap.
Oh, no.
That was very awkward.
He hooked him out of the kidnap to stop him from going all the way back.
Today I learned that's how that works.
Yep, I mean, any displacement takes priority over the first one, so that little yoink that comes in from the Thresh hook overrode the entirety of the kidnap. Unlucky there. Probably could have got a flash out of Wyan. Might not have got the kill, but Thresh saving the enemy that time.
Yeah, one of those CCs is not like the other. And unfortunately, they get the wrong one there for Clutch. Nice attempt, though. As again, lots of pockets of vision to play in. There's been a ton of Fog of War play overall this game. You can see the vision not super hot, although not bad around the Baron right now, which kind of seems to be everyone's favorite objective, given the point in the game that we're at.
Yeah, and Clutch Gaming do have a pretty good comp for taking it. Piglet, Sun, and Max Strobo will all do a fair amount of damage if they ever find time to go isolated on it. You also have a Mountain Dragon in your possession, so you can take it down that much faster. Swain is pretty respectable with his neutral objective DPS with the low cooldown, 2-second shotgun nature of the Q.
This is really nice, though. You mentioned the shadowing before from Linsanity here, covering Max Trobor. Now Piglet's going to start something in Kaizen. It's already too late for the JC's finally going to die. Piglet able to grab the shot down.
Who can bring more friends? This time, Max Strobo has 1, 0 for Kaizen. He's going to drop. Now they need to find some way to react to this, because Clutch Gaming are probably going to ride this minion wave in. You see the other members starting to wrap around and catch up.
Throws him out. Is some sick support here for Piglet. As Max Strobo is just basically slowing down targets that Piglet wants to kill. I mean, we talked about kind of the strong points that developed in this game. It has been Kaizen for 100 Thieves who finally took that death, but Piglet is absolutely the strong point of this team, and this Twitch is kind of primed to take over the game with 2 items done already, a second Drake going over to Clutch, and Piglet really just having all this space to play with.
Yeah, you got to think he's going to start looking at that IE as his 3rd item. And who on this team is really tanky enough to handle a Twitch opening up on them? Levi, not really any armor items quite yet. Kaizen's obviously a very squishy Jace. Tom Kench can be annoying, but doesn't really have that much HP at this part in the game. Also, Levi over 3k HP with that giant spell.
Yep, found it. I mean, again, this is kind of the thing, right? You said not a lot of arm for Levi. Part of it is because he still wants to go Cinderhulk Warmog, but needs extra health to kind of build it up. So I imagine that giant spell's turning into a Randuin's, but he got the health part first, not the armor part.
And it changes how the rest of your build goes too. I mean, sometimes you might want to lock it there. Some other items, you know, maybe a Knight's Vow if that's what you think is the best thing. Who knows? But either way, it feels like you need to get the health component of anything that you're building next, which limits your resist. So you see very little armor still on Levi at this point.
And as a kind of tracking build, I want to point out Sun here in the mid lane. Again, it's kind of a lot of still speculation, I would say, on Swain, but the theory of this build I really like. I think Leandros is just such a good item that not enough mid laners can really feel like they can build, especially early. Sun finding space for it here as his 3rd item.
Yeah, the Zanya's early is another one that I'm a little surprised at. Some people think you need Void Staff earlier to start chewing through people. And also, you see a lot of tiers as well for the defensive tools. So you see a couple different choices.
Well, looks like a aggression here. Finally getting the combo right this time between the Thresh and the Zac. Levi just tossed around, and Piglet, oh, surprise, gets his 6th kill.
Yeah, Piglet gets the kill, and with that, the enemy jungler's dead. No smite available, no shenanigans coming in from champions who have great objectives securing for
Max
themselves.
Trobo!
Oh, Max Trobo.
Not going to get out. In fact, he's probably going to die. Kaizen going to chase him down to the skies again. Now swapping back in a range form, and there's the kill, but I'll take it. Trade for Baron is just fine for Clutch.
Yeah, I wasn't really watching the minimap, so I'm not quite sure what Max Strobo was TPing into there. You already killed the but you already killed the enemy jungler. It's a 3v4 at most. I don't know.
Consummate team player. Just really wanted to be there for moral support. Instead, gets himself killed just like Levi in his own jungle.
Yeah, Levi gets picked off. Not much vision control going on. One of those communication problems that we've been seeing with Levi. And after that, no jungle. Like we said, no securing. We'll see, yeah, he just TPs in the middle of the pit to secure an objective that is already secured, and he loses his life for it. Unlucky play, getting punished. You know?
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. Well, still, again, Clutch get the bigger end of that trade, taking down that Baron, so have to be happy with at least that. We'll see what damage they can do. Still only 6 turrets taken in this entire game. 3 apiece as Clutch going to try and at least get some tier 2s knocked down with his Baron power play.
Yeah, a little unfortunate that your Gnar didn't get it. He's the one who's struggling the most in the 1-3-1, but hey, just group him up and start fighting. How about that?
Fight instead as Wyan does be patient and dodge the hook. Piglet, though, is going to threaten, and Wyan's just, I think, maybe going to die. Yeah, Max Trobo able to get it there as Airy flies in to pick it off. Piglet is just unleashed in this game on Twitch.
Yeah, we were talking about maybe having some struggles into Caitlyn. Looked a little suspect early in the game, but once Piglet starts rolling, he shows why he's so feared on this champion.
That's kind of Piglet in general, I feel like. A little spotty from time to time, but once he's in his element, he rarely leaves it. This turret is going to get brute force down. Moon is ready with the defense. Long range slingshot trying to catch a straggler peeking the right hand flank. Instead, it's Clutch just assaulting this inhib, and it's going to go down. Flying up, just not in time to defend there.
Nope. No real point trying to protect that. You'll catch him on the next push, hopefully.
We'll get him next time, maybe. Clutch Gaming finally opening up a big lead as we'll watch this one again.
Yeah, Wine just too far forward. Wasn't ready for the perma-slow for Max Trobo to come in, as well as Piglet stealthing out there. Then you get the long-range twitch damage. Max Trobo's Airy steals that one away from the AD carry who did all the work and deserves that kill. But Max Trobo's trying to get back to even with his kills and deaths, so you can understand the greed a little bit.
I think Piglet will be okay to give number 7 away. He's not happy about it, but I think he can live. Levi gets out with the blast cone, but again, this Frozen Mallet kind of doing the work it needs to do even when grouped. Max Trobo's now, despite being still very far behind, the rest of his team's kind of picking it up, and nice play in the mid lane for them to convert on 1 inhibitor. See what else they can get done. A Sun is split pushing that top lane.
And this is where the Gnar gets to pick up a lot of farm, gets to say, hey, I wasn't getting Flame Horizoned, as your team now has enough pressure to limit the Jace from just sitting in that lane and 1v1ing you the entire time. Swain getting in the way of pushing the top lane, Piglet getting in the way of pushing in the mid lane, and then they sit in this jungle hoping someone face checks where they can go find another pickoff before moving up to Swain to join up that wave. Baron buff has 20 seconds on it. Probably not enough to get another inhibitor turret down, but can start doing some damage on one of these. But Sun getting engaged on.
Got coverage from Vulcan. There's the Lantern. Good play from the Clutch support. Kind of making sure he could get Swain out if needed. And looks like red buff's going to go over as a result. So no turret, but at least they saved their Swain.
They do save the Swain. They also don't really need to back off at this point. Max Turbo's pushing down the bot lane. They have another minion wave coming up from the top side, so they can keep this pressure up, start grabbing some more of these turrets. Ocean Drake in 10 seconds, but not a large factor for them, just wanting these objectives.
Yep. Oh, flash forward from Linsanity. He's going to try and get a kill onto the Swain. Sun pops the ulti. Going to get the health back, slap down, and the kidnap. But Moon maybe a little too far forward. Is so popped into the passive, and Piglet is just letting it go. He takes down, but he lives godlike as he slays Kaizen in the front line. Sun pops his Zonies to delay a little more. There's the Vision of Empire getting that slowed down as Piglet naps the double. Maybe make it 3 as Linsanity also going to go down. It's Sun that picks up the 3rd kill.
Yeah, 3 kills. Only Ricard and Levi left alive. They can go mid lane and grab that minion wave with the super creeps in it and be able to end the game here. No way for 100 Thieves to really deter this one.
Yeah, no. Only 2 up, and Ricard already flashing out of the way. Max Trobo, flash dancing style, which I have not seen quite a while. Hook and a land, Max Trobo, celebratory Gnar ult. And that's going to be all she wrote for this one. Clutch able to take their final game of the season in style. Piglet popping off on the Piglet as AD Swain has apparently made an appearance for Sun.
Oh boy, I'm sure we have Tom back in stats. Very happy about that one. Love seeing builds get messed with. So, you know, the first game we get on Swain, you don't know what he actually built when you look at the end game screen. Absolutely great. Love it.
I don't love it.
No,
I'll
me
just
neither.
say that right now. But still, Piglet, credit where it's due. He was the man with all the BF swords, making things happen.
Yeah, Piglet was a huge factor this game. Felt like he was going over aggressive, kind of going to that Piglet syndrome territory we sometimes see after he traded his life trying to finish off the Tahm Kench, but then a ton of ganks start happening around the bot lane, ganks in the mid lane, ganks in the top side. Whole game starts blowing open, and eventually the pressure stops being off this controlled game state that Caitlyn wants, where she just has this Twitch pinned underneath his turret.
Yeah, it was a big back and forth game, but I think Piglet was the guy that really broke things open. I guess my other question is, like, yes, we've kind of seen what Piglet can do when he's playing like himself, but, you know, do we learn anything else in this game? Do we learn anything about Swain is kind of my big question, because I think Sun did some good things, but I didn't really see, oh, this is why people pick Swain.
Yeah, I mean, he played against Ryze. There was a really scrappy fight around level 1, level 2, and then he won that fight, and now he's stronger than the Ryze, and then continued to win the laning phase. Didn't see a ton of stuff, but you saw that he have that potential to follow up on CC pretty well. In pick-off situations around objectives, he can use his passive to pull people closer. He has a couple different tools that work very well in the competitive game.
Well, certainly looking good. We'll take a look at a replay, though, the final fight of this one. There were a lot of scrappy moments here in this particular game, but here was maybe the most fun right here at the end.
Yeah, you see them try and focus Sundown. He pops that ult, starts healing up. Zach throws himself in the middle, gets a weird angled ultimate. Didn't feel like he wants to pull them all the way back into his team. Then finally Piglet opens up, starts mauling everybody. Gets the redemptions on top of him to keep him healed. Random Zhonya's by Sun for some reason, and then they all flash forward and start finding kills. Nice play by Moon to grab Linsanity, pull him back in, get those 3 kills, and after that, very easy game to close out.
It's certainly not the flashiest champion for Moon either. I mean, not maybe the aggressive standard he is known for, but his Zac has been very good all season long, and I think he is showing that, you know what, he is a veteran. He's kind of trying to prove himself on this stage. You know, a nice little game for him to close out as well.
Yeah, and I think the comp made sense. You have a lot of engaged tools. You have this one hyper carry threat in the late game with Piglet on Twitch, who definitely hit that point in the game where he just destroys everybody. And then you have a fair amount of aggressive frontliners where Swain is pretty tanky but does a lot of damage. Gnar can be very much the same way. So you just have all these tools to provide space for your Twitch. Ended up not really being a game that played out that way, of course. So it still made sense.
I didn't ask for this game to make sense, Mark. I asked for fun, and we
got it.
We got a little bit. I mean, we got Piglet popping off. I'm always happy to see that man going crazy. I'm kind of sad we didn't see the Vayne, but Twitch is, I'll give it to him. Still very much a Piglet champion, and with the way he was playing, it could have been just about anything. Could have been AD Swain.
Yeah, could have been anything.
Sun.
Yeah. Yeah, you did
Still mad about it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, we want to start learning about this champion and just ruining the stats for it. Unlucky.
Well, unlucky indeed. Game 3 is on the books, but we're not done yet. Game 4 is coming up after the break with Golden Guardians Academy taking on TSM. Don't touch that browser.
So aggro, level
just
1.
in there, but again moves him back in the first blood over to the Swain. Gonna be tough to survive this one. The permafrost should land as the flashes come out, and Levi, he dies in the trade. Not the best look. Actually, it will. Oh no, Piglet wants in. He's gonna go for it. I think he went too far. Oh, it's a disaster, Rakara. Levi's here, ready with the ulti, lands the stun. Damage coming out. Again, CC chain is good, and Kaizen will get the kill. Now Piglet's gonna start something, and Kaizen, it's already too late for the JC. He's finally gonna die. Piglet able to grab the shutdown. Moon maybe a little too far forward. Is so popped in the passive, and Piglet is just letting it go. He takes damage, but he lives godlike as he slays Kaizen in the front line. Sun pops his Zhonya's to delay a little more. There's the Vision of Empire getting that slowed down as Piglet naps a double clutch. Able to take their final game of the season in style.